Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
As we break into the top 50 of the 49ers roster countdown, we have a draft pick, baby. Connor Colby. The 49ers have a type. There is no doubt about that, especially whenever you're looking at interior offensive linemen, which Connor Colby is going to be guard for the 49ers. You look at his measurables, his two top comps are Nick Zakelj, who is currently on the 49ers roster, and Jared Kingston, who they drafted late in the draft last year at the exact same positions. Like, they have a cookie-cutter mold that they want at the guard position. Now, here's the flip side and negative to that. They have a major roster construction issue because they have drafted so many guards and have signed so many guards. There's no way to keep them all. In fact, you look at Jared Kingston, who's played really, really good football. They thought that they could cut and bring back. Didn't work. Somebody snatched him, and now he's gone. And you kept him over. You chose to keep Ambry Thomas. You chose to keep. I don't want to go through all the names, but a lot of major roster construction issues by the 49ers last year. Could have just kept Jared Kingston, redshirted him, and he'd have a year under his belt, and you'd be happy. But that's not where the Niners are. So what do? They basically go and recycle another late-round pick on a Jared Kingston clone in Connor Colby. And so you're hoping, and I think as we go through this, you're going to kind of see the dilemma that they're still in. How the hell do you get this guy on the 53-man roster at cutdown? Because you only keep 8 guys, and it's going to be difficult again. So the exact same space you were in last year at 53-man cutdowns, and you chose to let go of Jared Kingston, I feel like it's just Groundhog Day. So I love Connor Colby. I had a 5th-round grade on him. 49ers took him the 7th round, and you go through how he fits this 49ers. Yeah, he fits it to a T. The question is, man, who are you going to cut or waive, or who he's going to beat out to get in that spot to make the 53? Well, that's why we have training camp. That's why we have preseason. That's why we still got a lot of football. So let's, even though the 49ers have a type and a roster construction issue and how you're going to keep them again after wasting a late-round pick on a guard last year to develop for somebody else, they're right there again. Connor Colby wears jersey number 75, 6'6", 309. Elite build for a guard. And 32-inch arms, which probably going to keep him inside. He played tackle. How many games did he play at tackle? He had 6 starts at right tackle in his career at Iowa, which is, an O-line farmhouse for the NFL. But I do believe he's going to be a guard-only prospect his rookie year. Possibly could flex into tackle, maybe center, whatever. But the 49ers are notorious. You're playing guard or guard only. You're playing tackle or tackle only your rookie early years with the Niners, and then maybe he can develop into something else. He's 22 years old, ran a 5.1 40-yard dash. That's top 79th percentile of offensive linemen. 178 10-yard, okay. 7.73 3-cone, okay. His short shuttle was good, 70th percentile. 28.5-inch vertical, okay. 9.2 broad jump, okay. 23 bench press reps, awesome. Now, again, you look at the comps and you enter all this information. 90 percentile match with Nick Zakelj, 85 percentile with Jared Kingston. Boy, do they have a type. He grew up in Iowa, went to Cedar Rapids, Kennedy High School, then chose to go to Iowa, which, he was a 4-star recruit. He was a big-time recruit that had lots of choices, and why not go to the Ferentz scheme whenever your lateral ability is what it is and all that stuff, working the outside zone. And, that's another thing that you have to plug away as a huge positive when you're talking about Connor Colby and the 49ers. It's a perfect fit. We graded 340 players 1 to 10 on a 49ers fit scale. Connor Colby had a 9. He had a 9, and that's before we drafted him. It probably could have been 10, but man, this is just an absolute fit. He's an Iowa kid through and through, tough as nails throughout his whole football. Hasn't had any injuries. Now, he's played through bang-ups and all that stuff. Hasn't missed a game. And this is a guy, Connor Colby, that started as a freshman on the offensive line at Iowa. That is, to say rare, is an understatement. This guy voted team captain as a senior, 3rd team All Big Ten in 2023, 1st team All Big Ten in 2024. He's got the pelts on the wall. He has done it. Recreational management major, just a rugged guy that fits the 49ers mentality, fits the athletic profile, fits the size. He's played in the scheme. He's got experience. He's played all over the place. 37 starts at right guard, 6 starts at right tackle, 6 starts at left guard, 2,700 plus snaps. Like, you got it all. You really, really do. So then the question is, why did he fall to the 7th round? Well, pass protection's not his strong suit. Not that he's bad. He's not bad. But it's the run game that got him drafted in the first place. Here's our film write-up before the Niners drafted him. Speed, experience, perfect zone fit. Short area quickness, A+. I was actually shocked by his testing. I thought he was going to test better in the short shuttle, the 10-yard, all those things. But the film shows A+. Gets to the second level consistently. Anchor is good, not great. Great combo blocker and gets movement when he needs to. One of the more athletic guards in this class. Again, testing did not verify that. Love that he has so much experience in zone scheme already. Needs more consistency in pass pro. He does give up some hits. He does give up some sacks. Just in 2024 alone, 2 sacks allowed, 2 quarterback hits allowed, 6 hurries. Not the end of the world, but you would like better numbers from your offensive linemen and quarterback hits, especially whenever you watch Iowa tape and they run the ball almost exclusively. They're kind of like the 49ers where they're running the ball so stinking much. Why are you giving up so many quarterback hits and sacks? 2 and 2 doesn't sound awful, but it's kind of been a thing throughout his career. He's given up 7 sacks in his career, 15 quarterback hits. You would like that number to be a little bit smaller. But when you look at the caveat is this, 2,700 plus snaps. Most of those run blocking, but pass protection's the issue. A little slow redirecting, and recovery doesn't match his athleticism. That is a major check mark or X mark on guard tape. He can move laterally, and you ask him to reach. You know, he's a guard, and you're trying to get him to reach that 4-eye or that 5 technique on the outside or scoop block on the inside, a shade on the center. He can do that. The quick shift against stunts and blitzes where you go to pass protect to the inside A gap and then you got to quickly readjust to the B gap, that's his flaw. That's the issue. And in today's NFL, there is more stunting and line slants and all that stuff going on than at any point in the history of the NFL. So if you ask me why Connor Colby fell to the 7th and why, if this pick doesn't work out, why? This is why. That quick, sudden redirect versus stunts, blitzes, and kind of combos, all that kind of stuff. That's what needs to change. Now, his PFF scores. You go back to his 2022 tape, it had a 63 grade. Go back to 2023, a 71 grade. This year in 2024, had a 77 grade. Not bad at all. And so you're seeing the uptick, 63 to a 71 to a 77. That's growth. Pass block grade 68, true pass set grade 42. That's the flaw, right? He's a run blocker. Run block grade 77, zone grade 80, inside gap grade 64. His PFF rank was 123 overall. He was drafted in the 7th round, pick 33. So PFF was much higher on him. He was their 4th rated guard. If you look at mock draft draftable, they had him ranked 147, and he was as high as 114. And so for somebody that went all the way at the back end of the 7th round in the late 200s, he fell a lot. Our rating on him, experience out of a 10 scale, got an 8. Versatility, 9. He started both guard spots and tackle. Speed, 6. Acceleration, 7. Now, if you're looking for his athletic comps, it's, what we already went over. Nick Sakel, Daniel Kilgore. But the play style, it's Jared Kingston. That's what he is, but not as good in pass pro. Not as good in pass pro. We had a 5th round grade on him and a 9 out of 10 on the 49ers fit scale, which is awesome. No injuries, tough as hell. Gets drafted in the 7th round, signed a 4-year, $4.3 million deal for Connor Colby with $101,000 signing bonus. That's nice. He's going to get paid. Most of rookie contracts are pretty much guaranteed, so he's going to make some money. 52 games played in college, 52 starts in college. That's so badass. 807 snaps last year, 65 on special teams. Most of those are field goal and extra point. That's about all he'll do on special teams if he makes the chart. Now, this is the biggest red flag. The guard depth chart, There's a lot of bodies, okay? Dominic Pooney and Ben Barch are your starters. They took almost all the 1 reps throughout minicamp and OTA. Just expect that. Backups, Nick Sikel, Spencer Burford, who's an outside-inside, versatile, kind of can play them all. Connor Colby, Drew Moss, you paid some money to as an undrafted free agent, and it's pretty solid. And then Zach Johnson. That's a lot of bodies. Now, you got to keep in mind, Matt Hennessy, the backup center, is just a center only. He can play guard, but I think they're just going to press him at center. You're keeping a swing tackle no matter what. So if you're going to keep 1 tackle, you're going to keep 1 center and Matt Hennessy, you're talking you're going to keep 8 offensive linemen. That means there's 1 guard guy. Nick Sikel, you got to remember last year at 160 snaps last year during the season, Nick Sikel had a top 10 pass blocking grade for the entire offensive line in the NFL. Like, I was so upset that we kept going back to Aaron Banks last year. You know, he kept getting injured. Nick Sikel steps in's better. Spencer Burford steps in's better. Ben Barch steps in better, and they just kept giving the job back to back to Aaron Banks. I like Aaron Banks, but all 3 of those guys outplayed him last year, and Chris Forster's going to play favorites. It's not a meritocracy with him. Just look at Jake Brendel. It's frustrating, but there's no way you can keep 2 guard-only prospects in Nick Sikel and Connor Colby. You see what I'm saying? Like how we started this? Like Connor Colby's going to have to, 1, you've got to have Spencer Burford be a tackle. You got to hope Spencer Burford beats out, Andre Dillard. And then you've got to hope Connor Colby beats out Nick Sikel, which is no small feat. He's been on this roster for 3 years. Brock Purdy's former roommate. They love him. He has taken some center snaps, so he has a little more versatility than Connor Colby. Like, it's just Jared Kingston 2.0 on this roster. I hate to say it, nobody's ever rooting on injuries, and I don't think Connor Colby is either. But it's pretty damn hard to find a way for Connor Colby to make this roster outside of injuries. I just don't see it. Dillard, Burford, no way. Might keep 2 tackles, and if you do that, maybe Matt Hennessy's not kept, and if that's the case, yikes. There is a very tough, and it's almost like a maze, to find a blueprint for Connor Colby to make this roster. You got to hope Spencer Burford wins the swing tackle job over Dillard. They cut Dillard. You got to hope Connor Colby beats out Nick Sikel, and you got to hope that maybe, just maybe, the 49ers keep 8 to 9 offensive linemen. Otherwise, he's going to get waived, and the 49ers are going to lose another late-round offensive line pick. And that's just so frustrating. Connor Colby can play. He fits. He's got experience. He's got upside. He's got athleticism. I want him to be part of this 53-man roster, and he's number 50 on our list. Gosh, man, I really, really hope the 49ers learn their lesson and don't get too smart and too cute with the IR spots and who we're keeping and who we're not keeping. Keep Connor Colby. Keep your damn draft picks. Develop them. Imagine if we had Jared Kingston left over from last year. That'd be gigantic. Don't make the same mistakes you made in the past. Learn the lesson. Learn the lesson. Keep this dude. Find a way. Find a way. Thank you to Josh, Ben, and Zach, executive producers of this series. And Connor Colby, man, I hope you're around and on this list next year. I want him to get some snaps. I want him to get some starts because he's just too damn good a fit. I'm going to be really upset if he does not make this 53-man initial roster. But for us in the 49ers Rush team, we're going to keep counting him down.